What's up guys, I'm back with another video and today we're gonna talk about Skate. Yes, you heard right, the game Skate. Because in case you live under a rock, EA just released a new Skate game and people's minds could not be further apart. Like there's people that love the game and there's people that absolutely hate the game. And there's actually a lot of people that are kind of in between. And today I want to show you guys why that is the case. So this topic has been recommended by someone in the comments. Shout out to you. Also, thanks for just tuning in. This channel is kind of starting to pick up a bit of traction and I'm really happy about that. But let's get into the video. So this is not gonna be a hugely researched the story of Skate type video. This is mainly gonna be my opinion mixed with some, opinions of the general public, I would say. And also the opinion of the Skate community, not the Skate community in real life, but the Skate video game community. And I just wanna put my perspective out there and make clear why there's so many people that have drastically different opinions about the game. The new one, by the way. So about my history with Skate, I've never really skated. I had a skateboard as a kid when I was like in 3rd grade, so about 9 years old. I had a skateboard, but I didn't really skate. I never even tried to do a kickflip or anything. Later on I got into longboards, which are more like just the driving part and not the trick part of skateboarding. But that was also just a phase as a teenager and nowadays I don't do any of that. But I bought Skate 3 for the PlayStation 3 one day before I turned 12 years old. And I remember that the GameStop guy did not want to let me buy the game because I wasn't 12 yet, but it was literally like a few hours before my birthday, so I don't know. But in the end my sister bought it for me and I played the fuck out of that game because it was amazing. It's a skate game, it has an open world, it's kind of gritty, you can do a lot of shit, the controls were amazing and I've never really seen anything like it. So I played that game a lot until I was like I think 13 to 14 when I got my first real gaming PC. And for those of you who played on the PlayStation 3, you maybe know what I mean when I say like once I got a PC, I never looked back at the PlayStation 3 because that console was just so bad with performance. And that's because of the way that this thing was designed and, developed. But that's a whole nother story. But since the point that I switched to PC, I never really played Skate again. Now that doesn't mean that I did not miss the game. Like I very often thought about Skate 3 and I was like, damn, I wish they would make a remake. Just like with Red Dead Redemption 1. Like all these years, I would catch myself every now and then, like every few months, going through my Steam library, looking for a game to play, and I couldn't find anything. And I was like, damn, if they would just make a Red Dead Redemption 1 remake or a Skate 3 remake on the PC, that would be amazing. Because I'm not gonna play these games with like 15 FPS on the PlayStation 3. That's just not gonna happen. And so I think by 2025, which is right now, I think like 3 to 4 years ago, there was an announcement by EA that Skate is gonna come back. And they actually got the guy that like directed, I think, Skate 3 and also 2. I'm not too sure on this and I don't want to do a lot of research, but this guy here, he was a bigger part in the older Skate games. And so people thought, okay, if EA gets out of their way to get this guy for the new Skate, it will probably be a banger. And you can't blame them because EA, or Full Circle, the development studio for the new Skate, they really positioned themselves in a way where they were saying like, we listen to the community and we want to make this game just like you want it, which had everybody's hopes up, especially the Skate community, because like in the essence of it, it's still a skate game. It's not like Fortnite that's for everyone, it's a skate game. People who don't like skateboarding are not gonna play a skateboarding game. That's just how simple it is. And we will come back to that, like to that fact that Skate is not for everybody. We will come back to that later, but just remember that. So they announced the game and then nothing happened for a few months. And I think like 1 to 2 years ago, there were like single update videos on YouTube where you could see a very, very early and basic version of the game. I think in the first video it wasn't even textured, it was just like meshes with different colors, and then it had like different colors, but I still wouldn't really call it textured. And while this period was going on, the devs asked the community, what do you want from the Skate game, or like from the upcoming Skate? And they would make these videos where they would show comments from the community and they would be like, yep, we're gonna implement that. That's gonna be in the next Skate, sure. But somehow, in some weird way, they missed some comments that were really, really present, which were, for example, give us an offline mode. People definitely wanted an offline mode in the campaign and they just completely ignored these comments, which is kind of weird if you put the standpoint out there that you want to make the game just like the community wants, but then you cherry pick the comments in a way that makes it seem like you care, but you don't really care because, well, EA. And they even had like a player circle, which were like mostly, I think, big YouTubers that would give feedback and play earlier versions of the game. But I don't even want to go that deep into all the facts because there's channels that did that way better. So let's fast forward to the release. So the game released about like, I don't know, 2 to 3 weeks ago, and you've been seeing gameplay from it the whole time. This is the new Skate. It's not Skate 4, by the way. The devs specifically said that this is not Skate 4, and I really understand why, because this is not a worthy Skate 4 yet. It's just Skate. Period. That's the name of the game. It's just Skate. Because they plan on iterating on the game with updates and stuff. It's kind of like Microsoft with Windows 10, where they were like, okay, this is gonna be the last Windows. We're just gonna update this. There's not gonna be Windows 11. I'm currently using Windows 11. So we'll see. So Skate released and people were not really happy. A specific group of people were not happy, and this group of people is the Skate community. When I say this, I mean the game, you know, the community of the Skate games. So the Skate community was not really happy because, well, the game just looks like Fortnite with a skateboarding mode. And that's even, like, I can't even really argue with this. It's really cartoonish looking. It's not gritty at all. It's not dirty. It's very, very clean. It kind of looks like an acid flip, if you ask me. It's just so clean. The lighting is very generic. It's just not very stylized. And people did not like that. And one more thing that people did not like at all, that actually really caused issues at the launch of the game, was the fact that it's an online-only game. It is a live service game, which means that you cannot play this shit without internet connection. And you can imagine at launch, and even now, like 2 to 3 weeks later, you have queues. So you have to start the game and then wait to actually join a server because you cannot play this game alone by yourself. Which at this point I'm gonna start throwing my opinions into this. I'm not sure how to think about this. Now, I don't think it's good, definitely not. But it doesn't bother me that much if you don't get into a queue. Now the queues are really annoying and they do actually happen every now and then. So it's just annoying, obviously, if you start the game and you have to wait 5 minutes because you cannot play it offline. But just the fact that you cannot skate offline and you're always in a party with like a lot of different people, I don't really mind it. And I think sometimes it's actually pretty funny and cool to, like, you know, be there with all of these different players. But I really hate that it's not an option. You cannot play it offline. You can only play it this way, and that's what I really don't like. If there was an option like with, let's say, GTA 5, that you can like start the game in offline mode and then if you want to, you can join an open lobby, that would be great. But that's not the case. You can only play open lobby. A matter of fact, there is no campaign in this game. In Skate 3, there was kind of a story there. There was even like some characters involved in the story. Never forget Coach Frank, by the way. He didn't die for this shit. So the story or the goal of Skate 3 was to sell boards, meaning that you would do missions where you do a sick trick and then you take a photo of that trick, and with that you can gain clout and you sell boards and you unlock a lot of stuff, and that's basically, you know, the whole thing. You could even build skate parks, put them online, and if people downloaded your skate park, you would sell boards in the story mode. So there's like an interconnection between online and offline, which I think was really cool. Like technically you could level up and unlock a lot of stuff by just making cool skate parks for all the people that play Skate 3. Now in the new Skate, there are like missions, if you can call them that, and these are like, one of them for example are lines where you just are given a path to follow and, you know, an amount of tricks to do on that path, and you do that and then you finish the mission. There's no like deeper reason to do them other than unlocking cosmetics, and we'll come to cosmetics in a second. But the main thing here is there's no real campaign, and I understand that it's an early access game and technically, you know, they cover themselves with the umbrella of, well, it's early access, we're gonna fix it later on. But I don't really see them putting a whole ass campaign story mode in there if there's no sign of one by now and they have not announced anything in that regard. I just don't think that's gonna be coming. So let's get to the big thing, cosmetics. Now in Skate 3 there were a lot of cosmetics like shoes, pants, t-shirts, jackets, like everything you can think of. There was a lot of stuff, even like watches and stuff. You could freely put tattoos on your character. You could freely place stickers on your board. And all of these things, which are a lot of cosmetics, every single one of them could be unlocked by just playing the game. And all of you know what's gonna come next. Skate has a lot of cosmetics too. I don't think it's quite as much as Skate 3, but I'm not sure on that, so don't quote me on that. So Skate also has cosmetics, but the twist is that you cannot unlock them all by just playing the game, you have to buy stuff. So you have to either buy crates, like loot boxes, that you then unlock and get stuff, or you can buy cosmetics directly, or some cosmetics can be obtained by playing the game, like doing these missions that are really boring after some time. But it's not the same. I don't know how to explain this, but in Skate 3 there were like a lot of skater brands. You had a lot of like stuff that you would have in real life too, and I think Skate 3 was pretty stylish. And in the new Skate, it's like, I don't know, I mean, I think my character is pretty stylish, you know, that aside. I don't know, like you do a mission or you actually buy something and you get like a red shirt and that's it. While in Skate you could, you know, some pieces, you could like select the color of it, you could even select if you want to wear it like tight or loose. And the fact that the shop where you can spend money was already up and working in like pre-alpha versions of the game that only like creators could play, I think that says a lot, like a lot. And I'm not even surprised by that because it's EA, you know. But yeah, I think that says a lot, because I don't know if I can find it, but there was a Steam review that asked a lot of good questions, like where is Skate in Skate? Now, for those of you who don't know, Skate was a game mode in older Skate games that's basically kind of like Hangman, I guess. So you could play a game of Skate with your friends and you would do a trick and they have to do that exact trick. And if they don't do it, they get one letter. And if they have the word skate complete, well, they're out. I hope that's a good explanation. So that's not in the game. Also, there's no Hall of Meat, which was a mode in Skate 3 at least. I know that it was in there, where you could face plant your skater and you could gather points for how bad you injure your skater, which was amazing and hilarious. And I would always have this mode on when I played Skate 3 because it would like highlight the bones that were broken and how bad they were broken if you fall. And that was just amazing. And I don't understand why they would not put this in the new Skate, because here's the thing. Skate 3 had an age rating of 12 where I live, and the new Skate also has an age rating of 12 where I live. So I don't see how they could not put the Hall of Meat in there and still have a 12 age rating. But I think the non-inclusion of Hall of Meat really fits into the whole picture of this game, which is basically, well, just do not offend anyone. They do not want to offend anyone with this game. They don't dare to do anything that could be like slightly not child friendly, and I think they're doing that like combined with the comic like style because of the way that Skate works. Now I wanted to come back to this point, like the way Skate works, but I didn't because I don't script my videos. Maybe I should start doing that, but I don't know. Now what I'm trying to say is EA really wants to market this game towards kids so that they buy the skins. That's my opinion, and I think that's kind of obvious. And so that's why they don't want to put anything in this game that's like slightly controversial or like that could offend any Karen mom. They don't want to offend that Karen mom because that Karen mom's kid is now not going to be able to play the game because she doesn't allow it to and spend her credit card money on the skins. That's what I wanted to say with this. Now let's get back. Skate is a free-to-play game, which means that you can play it for free on any platform that, you know, it's available at, which sounds really good, like great, you know, in the first second. But if you think about it and if you ask the Skate community, it's really bad. And I think it's bad too. Because you see, a game has to make money, obviously, because it costs the developers a lot of money to make that game. So a free-to-play AAA game, how does it make money? Well, it's pretty much always a shop in the game. And here, like, we already talked about the shop a bit. In Skate, it's the, like, cosmetic shop, where you can buy cosmetic stuff, which in the first moment doesn't even sound that bad. But to be honest, I come from Skate 3, right? And you're forced to play with other people in this game. And I already do not really like the look of the game because it's just so bland. It's like chicken with rice as a video game. That's a really good comparison actually. But I already don't really like the style, and it really does not help that already at launch there's like a pack that you can buy in the store for real money, by the way. I think it's like 25 euros roundabout, a bit more than that, like 26 euros, which is the Grim Reaper pack. And that's just where it starts. Dude, I don't want to skate through the game and have fun and be surrounded by fucking pink dinosaur skins. This kind of shit already ruined Call of Duty. It's the reason that I always hated Fortnite, and now it's coming to Skate. It was hilarious when you could play Skate 3 as a fucking steak. That was funny as fuck. But it was funny because it was out of the ordinary. It was not like usual. You could not just buy the steak skin, because if you can just buy the steak skin, it's not funny anymore. It's just annoying after a time, and I think that time has definitely come that these kind of skins are just annoying as fuck, and they take the seriousness out of any game. I was never really a Call of Duty player. The last COD I played was, I think, Black Ops 2. Before that I played Black Ops 1 actually, but after Black Ops 2 when they got into that futuristic shit, I've never played it again. And dude, that franchise is so fucked up in 2025. Like just imagine you want to play a nice round of Call of Duty, you know, manpower with weapons and grenade launchers, and you get sniped by full pinked out Nicki Minaj. Now that sounds like some patriarchy shit, don't get me wrong. I'm actually myself a purple enjoyer. Actually, I love the color lavender, if you call it that, I don't know, but that kind of color, I love that. But this shit does not fit into a war game. It's about war, it's about killing people, shooting people. Who the fuck thinks it's a good idea to put that in there as a skin? Like, I always played Battlefield 4 and I still think that's the best like shooter out there for me. I also like Counter-Strike, but I think Battlefield 4 is really good. And I'm really hoping that Battlefield 6 is gonna be good, but I don't know, man. I just don't really believe in really good games coming out nowadays because of the state of the whole industry. But to wrap it up, I think the whole system of like selling these obnoxious skins, combined with the fact that it's an online only game, so you as a player will be forced to play with these people that buy these obnoxious ass skins. I just hate this. I hate it. Now, to end on a good note, the gameplay is really good, I think. They added a lot of stuff, especially like what's really notable is the parkour mechanics, which are just copy pasted from Assassin's Creed, but they're pretty funny. I think they do enhance the game, so no hate there. You know, the gameplay is really good. They're still working on it because, you know, it's an early access and some animations are not quite where they should be, but overall I think the gameplay aspect of the game is really good and really enjoyable. I also play Skate 3 on an emulator, and I definitely noticed that I enjoy the gameplay aspect, and this is so important to say, just the gameplay, okay? Like, just take the skater and take everything away. The gameplay, like how it feels to control the character, that feels really good and a lot less like choppy than in Skate 3, so that's good. But why I'm pinpointing this so much to just the controls of the character is because the map is so ass. Maybe not so ass, there's like a couple cool spots, but the map is so small and I feel like it's missing a lot, especially compared to Skate 3. Like, there's this section at the end of the bridge where you can see like a whole nother city over the river. So everybody's right now kind of hoping that they will either build the bridge and unlock that, or actually just make the island bigger and, you know, give us more space. Because right now it's the map really kind of sucks. It's so repetitive. I think it's missing like big jumps and like big sections, like this part in Skate 3 where you could ride through the canal from the top to the bottom of the observatory. I love that part and it's just so fun to skate that. Also, we had the ultra mega park in Skate 3. We do not have anything close to that in Skate. Now, for the people who want like low-key kind of realistic skating, maybe that doesn't really matter. But again, I'm not a real skater. I only played Skate 3 as a game. So I'm really into these unrealistic huge jumps that look sick. And so for me, the map is just not quite there. Now, this again is a topic that they could be iterating on and, you know, make it better in the future, but we don't know any of that. So I think let's just hope that they will listen to the community and make what people actually want. Which brings us to like the last topic of this video, I think. And that's why there's so much separation in the player base. And that's basically because there's people who played old Skate titles, which I would call the Skate community. And then there's like new players who never played any of the older titles. And for them, Skate essentially is a new game, like a whole new type of game, I guess you could say. And so the new players, they don't know anything else than this. So they're mostly like, well, this is a fun to play game. What's your guys' problem? And the Skate community, who I think the game really should be made for, is like, well, look at the older games. This is not anything like them. Sure, the controls are good and the gameplay feels good, but everything around that it's just not Skate, which I also feel in that way. Now, why do I think this game should be made for the Skate community? Well, this is not Fortnite. It's not made for everyone. It's a skateboard game. It doesn't matter how many cosmetics you put into the fucking store. A teenager who's not at all interested in skating is not gonna play the game just because you put a fucking pink flamingo into the item shop. Well, maybe they will, but they will definitely not become a core part of the community. And it really feels like this game was made for kids or teenagers to spend a lot of mom's credit card money on all the skins in the shop, and not for the Skate community that really want a good successor to Skate 3. That being said, I know this video was really negative on the game. I don't hate the game straight up. I definitely do play it just as an like arcade way of, you know, play around, really just to kill some time, and that's pretty fun. But that's about it. There's no deeper meaning in the game, there's not really a reason to do anything in there. The only online thing is kind of annoying sometimes. Also, I played it with friends a bit, like in a party, and it's pretty fun, again, like to play it with your friends and just talk a bit in Discord, but there's a lot of issues with the like party mode. Also, the clip editor is really buggy, and a lot of times, for me at least, it would just give you a freeze frame and not actually play back your gameplay. But these are all technical things that I think they will definitely fix, right? They would not just leave all these horrible bugs in there. So I don't really put them on the scale. For now, they get a pass for all the technical stuff from me because it's an early access game and whatever. I'm not a fan of this whole concept. I want a game to come out when it's finished and not like when it's 80% there. But that's just the state of the industry, I guess. Anyways, I think that's gonna be it for this video. If you liked it, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment with your opinion on the game. We also just hit 10 subscribers, which thank you guys for that. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.